panel tonight. We've got Hot Lips Michelle with forbidden information. We've got Jonny, 1%er. We've got Not Your Nacho, and we've got Nick in bass tonight. Hi, how's everybody tonight?
Hey.
Is everybody muted?
Maybe.
How are you, Hot Lips?
Hi, everybody.
Hey, Nacho, are you there? Uh-oh, did we lose Nacho? Do we have Nick?
I'm here.
Did we lose everybody? Oh, Nick's been turned down on accident.
Of course, of course, you're gonna turn me down. That's the logical choice.
And we've got Nacho. Everybody was turned down. I'm sorry, y'all.
Am I turned down?
No, you're up now. We can hear y'all.
Oh, baby. Hey, baby, how you doing? Okay, I used my one joke, I guess.
And Father still hasn't jumped in, but anyways, Father will be joining us later tonight. But yeah, it's been a crazy day. No Mueller report. What's going on with that? No Pfizer report released. They passed the thing that gets to me today that was probably the most upsetting. We'll start with the worst first and then try to end on a lighter note. Is the bill that they tried to pass to give medical treatment to botched abortion babies. You know, it should have been unanimous. It should have been a vote where when a child is born, they're just going to let it suffer and let it give it nothing, no treatment, no nothing, no. It just blows my mind. And then you have like Elizabeth Warren tweeting, talking about how it was a selfish bill and how it took women's rights away. What does it matter? The woman's not even involved at this point. It's a child. It's a human being. It's vile. It has feelings. It's a God-created person sitting there helplessly.
Hey, Krisi, I have an actual serious question about this. Okay.
All right, go ahead, Nacho.
You're a woman. I'm a man.
Okay?
Right. Let's kind of role play hypothetically. Let's say I happen to get you pregnant. Okay.
Oh, wait a minute.
Whoa.
Hey,
okay.
Hey.
Hey.
Oh, hold on. I'm using it as an example. And okay, I'll use just a random woman. Okay, so I get some woman pregnant, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she decides she doesn't want that baby, but I want the baby. Well, guess what? She can abort the baby. She does not have to pay any type of basically child support, as in, even if she had full custody, she'd still be paying, in a sense, child support because she'd have to spend money on it. She'd have to spend time with that child, raising that child. That's still a form of child support, even though I would have to still be getting now. My thing is, if a man does not want the baby, and yet the female does, the man is stuck with paying child support to that woman, even though he does not want that baby and doesn't want anything to do with that baby. But you have women out here wanting more and more.
Well, I think what the thing is, Nacho, I think you're right. You have a really good point. You know, where's the man gets to say? You know, it's all about the women's bodies, and this is what like the whole Democratic Party is going to. They want to you know, it's a woman's choice until you're born, and then it's their choice. You know, I mean, we have AOC talking about how she actually said this the other day. She was on her Twitter. Somebody let her loose. Somebody let her out of her room for the night. Didn't she? I missed her meds or something, but she was talking about how the global problem is a planet problem. But she actually said. But here we go. And that's the thing is like they want to, they want to control your body. Like we have control if there's another person in there, but if that other person comes out, then that person has no control. Like the men have no control, and the women only have control when they want to kill their kids. And that to me is just it's mind blowing.
You know what it sounds like? It sounds like a USA problem for the United States,
Yeah.
All right. Can I finish the other part of my question?
Those USA problems that hurt the United States. It's just crazy.
It's terrible.
All right. Can I finish the rest of what I was going to say?
What do you think about that, Johnny? What's that?
Okay.
I think Johnny's scuba diving.
We're still getting some feedback from Johnny.
Yeah, let's mute him for now.
Rest of my statement.
Are you there?
Yeah. Okay. What's going on?
There you are.
There you go. We were asking you what were your thoughts? Where'd he go?
I don't know. He muted his mic, it looks like.
Yeah, I didn't mute it. Oh, there you go.
Sorry about that. Okay. No, I wasn't even in here to hear what you were talking about.
Oh, okay. We were talking about abortion, and that they tried to pass a bill today, and it was a 54 to 44 a vote on if a child survives a bad abortion, the bill was to get the child medical treatment instead of just letting the child suffer there, needlessly. And the bill didn't get passed, and so you have like Elizabeth Warren tweeting about what a horrible bill it was, and it was part of trying to take women's rights away, but yet what if that was a little girl, that child has no rights.
Yeah, once they get first past a certain trimester, these people are just committing murder.
Yeah, it's.
It's murder anyway, but the thing is, we can't stop anybody from doing that. You know that. But the thing is, when a baby gets up to 9 months of age, and it's born, and the doctor decides to cut its neck, cut the spinal cord in two. Mm-hmm. Or leave it there to die, well, that doctor just committed murder.
Yeah. Well, to me, it's murder no matter what. Yeah. But but like the later the term, the more painful and more agonizing it is for these children that they have to go through. Like these third trimester abortions, they actually inject. So they said, it's for the mother's health. Well, the mother still has to go through child labor. It doesn't change anything other than the child, the mother doesn't have the responsibility of the child anymore. That's all it is. And that child it gets burned from the inside out. They inject it with a saline solution, and the mother carries that suffering child until it dies, and then they either C-section, induced labor, or whatever they do. And so it's a horrific, and it actually puts the mother more at risk than anything. So this woman's protective, health bill, no, it doesn't protect a woman at all, and it's just blatant murder.
I totally agree. And
you notice it was 53.
The rest of what I was going to say was...
So how many of the Democrats actually got on board with that?
Okay, you got cut off.
It was
Joe Manchin get on board with it? Was one Democrat involved?
Yeah. I didn't see who. I was just so upset about it. Because I had some Republicans that voted against it.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, I'm here.
Is Nacho there? Can you hear him? I hear him.
You hear Nacho?
Yeah. Can you hear him?
Yeah, I can. Nacho?
Yeah. Okay. I've been trying to finish the rest of what I was saying, which it's no problem. But my thing is, if the man does not want that child and the woman goes ahead and has it, there should be some type of document that is signed stating that man has no responsibility for that child and does not have to pay any child support because what's the difference in that versus the woman aborting the child when the man at that point in time wants a child? It should go both ways. Women want equal rights, but yet they don't want equal rights.
I don't really
when it
want a
comes
bunch
to
of them
children.
crackers, but since you're gonna eat, since you're not gonna eat them here.
Yeah, it's a horrible thing. And you're right. You actually have a really good valid point, Nacho. It's like the men are not getting any rights in all of this. And this is the other thing. There's plenty of families out there who want to have kids, but yet we're funding Planned Parenthood. But what about the adoptions? Adoptions are incredibly expensive. And it's crazy. And you got like AOC saying that, we're going to all die in 12 years unless we, tax all the Americans and all the middle class, 90%. And then, you've got you tax them all this money, and then and then we're not supposed to have any kids on top of it. So she's promoting high taxation and not to have birth, not to get pregnant.
Now let me ask you this, if you happen to know, if you don't, how many out of 10 babies that black mothers from the black community, how many those kids are born out of 10?
You mean the ratio, the abortion ratio out of the black communities?
Yes. Well, no, how many are born and how many?
I think it's a ridiculous number. I think it's like 4 to 10 or 3 to 10 or something.
You are correct. Out of every 10 black women, only 4 black babies survive and they are born.
The whole Planned Parenthood was targeted at the black communities. Margaret Sanger was the founder. She was incredibly racist. She was and she wanted to weed out the black communities, and she wanted to weed out the less desirable children. The children or parents who weren't didn't meet a certain aptitude or a certain level that they deemed was correct. So that's a whole part of Planned Parenthood. So why are we funding them and not funding adoptions? Why are we? And this is the crazy part about Planned Parenthood is that they're not a non-for-profit. They don't provide any other health services other than STD screenings and abortions. And what they're doing with all of that, then they take all this money, they sell the baby parts, they make money on the abortions, and then we're giving them money on top of it, and they're turning around and they're putting money back into the government, into the elections and paying to campaign finance. Right, campaign
funds for the Democrats.
Yeah.
Now my thing
that's laundering our taxpayer money, and that's why they want to do a audit on Trump's taxes. Really? Let's do an audit on the Democrats first. Let's do it on Barbara, Diane Feinstein, who's been in office since the 30th, since the last 30 years. Let's look at Nancy Pelosi, who's been doing this for 20 years. The amount of money that they have made has just been absolutely ridiculous.
KrisiAnn, what you're saying makes sense. But you're gonna
like the Democrat. Can you still hear me, or am I vibrating?
No, we hear you. Okay.
This thing with the Democrats that's been going on for years, but it's not the old Democrats. Like years ago, there used to be the Blue Dogs, okay? Mm-hmm. And the Blue Dog Democrats were more for the people. They tried to be, okay? Mm-hmm. In fact, I trusted John Kennedy, okay? Mm-hmm. But back in those days, things were different. Times were different. They killed him because he found out what was going on. What's going on right now is what the Democrat Party had planned back then, years ago. It was to collapse the system so they could take all the land They want to take all this land, and then they want to sell the land off. And the only way we're going to stop them is we're going to have to go to war with these people. Now, you might think, well, you know, we can't do that. But in the end run, they're going to tell us to pile them up, guys. And if you've got guns or ammo or anything like that, they are going to try to make you pile them up. Or they're going to stormtroop your house and shoot you, just like they did that veteran down there in Texas and his wife and his dog. They're going to do the same thing. Okay?
Right.
And if you don't think that'll happen, trust me, it will.
Oh yeah. I mean, I
totally
think
right.
that's what was the plan that was coming with Hillary. I think
Yeah,
they had
I
every
see.
intention to take our guns away. I think they had every intention to pull Venezuela on us.
I gotta say
Let
one thing,
the
though.
people come in from the south and overflood us and overtake us, and you know, let's populate our country and our votes with people with oppressive mentalities.
Yeah, you know, I totally agree.
Yeah, and you guys can sit
I agree
there
with what you're
all
saying,
day long. I
Chrissy,
got this beeping sound in the background. It's like
okay, here we go
talking
again.
through a medical device or something.
Oh no.
Is that part of Hangouts?
I know. There's kind of like
can I
a
talk?
whispering sound coming from you, but we don't have that fish tank sound. It's gone.
Hello.
Well, I turned everything off. I mean,
I think it's the ambience in your room. It's very acoustically bouncy. That's the deal with it.
well, I can sing in here. Okay.
Hello.
I mean, yes, the house does have like.
Is this working?
Insulation. Okay. Anyway, but
Is this
I'm in a
working?
little small room.
Hey, can you all hear me?
It stopped.
No, it's still there.
Can you hear
Do
me?
you have a fan going?
No.
No, it's the.
Hello?
Do you have your door open to that room?
No. I did
Close.
though.
Yeah.
Hello?
Huh.
Hello? Nacho, are you there?
Yeah.
Nacho.
Are you there?
Is my mic working?
Yeah, you're
but
here.
It's kind of
Okay.
like going in and out.
Are you getting noise from me when somebody else talks?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're giving me a taste smell medicine.
Okay, hold on a minute.
Chris, I was gonna say I agree with you. You're saying with the audits on the Democrats, but you're reaching so far, your arm's gonna pop out of socket, and then you're gonna keep reaching, and you're gonna rip your own arm off. You know how that's gonna go. That's never ever gonna happen in our lifetime. If it does, we're gonna be extremely old if that ever happens. I don't see it happening in the next 10 to 15 years. I do not see that happening because don't you remember Mueller? He's investigating two guys. He locked them up, and come to find out they're linked to the Clinton Foundation. All charges were dropped because they started talking and they told where the money come from. Then all of a sudden, that story got hush hush, and they let it go. And Mueller said, "Yeah, there's nothing there," because it linked right back to the Clinton Foundation. Where
Well,
these
if you
guys
follow
got paid.
Mueller, hold on a second. If you follow Mueller's deeply tied to the Clintons. There's a lot of information out there. Father says not what sure is going on. Can you hear, Father? Can you jump back on?
I think Hangouts is messing up for some reason, to be honest.
Yeah, I think we're having
I don't know what's going on with it.
We're having some bad audio. Okay, it's not Jonny.
Is it still doing it?
Yeah, it's not Jonny.
I don't hear it now.
I hear like a whispering sound. Huh,
Yeah,
that's weird.
It's not me.
Yeah, is Michelle, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, you're quiet.
I tried to talk, but I'll let you guys talk. It's okay.
So what is your thoughts on this so far?
Well, I just think it's pretty messed up how Planned Parenthood has all this money, but there's no programs to actually save the children, like foster care. My mom took care of 56 foster children. They were children with Down syndrome, children with AIDS, Asperger's, Lou Gehrig's disease, you name it. The children had it. My mom would love that child until that child had to go back to the parents or, unfortunately, back to the grandparents and whoever, siblings they could find at the time. So it was very heartbreaking to watch those children go because my mom loved them no matter what. It didn't matter if they were brown, white, Mexican, or whatever. But today, there's no money like there was available with foster cares. There's no caseworkers like there was when I was growing up. I'm adopted, so there's no money available for foster care systems. So many parents would love to foster and adopt. It doesn't seem like that's an option anymore.
No, we have adopted kids in our family too, and it's so expensive. I mean, it's the first one is like 30 grand, and the one after that was you get a discount. But who has like 30 grand hanging around to adopt a child and then have all the other costs too to bring a child home? It's so wrong, but it just goes back to show that they are desperately trying to have this narrative. Jonny says he's got 3. It's this narrative, like they want to reduce the population. The United Nations agenda wants to get rid of the 1%, and they want to get rid of the middle class because we can think of it's just it's a really sad time when the kids are looked at as garbage or a burden, or the vitality of this earth is going to be based on this kids. We have AOC talking about radical. We have to have a radical idea, and until somebody else thinks of something better, has tried something better, she's in charge. But yet she's telling us we need to have uniforms when we get home. We need to pay 90% taxes. We need to do this. Right. We need to do that. And yet she doesn't even know how to count. She doesn't even know how, the global problem is a worldwide problem or whatever she said. It's like, we're going to put you in charge? Baby. You're going to seriously put you in charge? What do you think about that, Nick?
It sounds like it might, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I was caught off guard there. I was listening, but I mean, I'm gonna stick with the main point that it's probably a USA problem for the United States. You know what I mean? So, what a stupid. Well, I mean, who says stuff like that? Seriously, who says stuff like that? My 5-year-old can put together a better sentence than that. She has more deductive reasoning than that chick does, and she went to college.
Oh yeah, and she's an economics major.
Yeah, economics of what?
Of being taught by a liberal school.
Benghazi.
Seriously. I mean, think about
economics of Japan, economics of Guatemala. What economics? Because it's not the United States.
I mean, look at Venezuela and what's going on with that. And I kind of believe that we're getting involved because it's a globalist issue. I think we're getting involved because they need our help and we need theirs. They're fighting the problem that we're all facing.
Yeah.
And there's some type of resources that we don't want them to have in Venezuela. And so, what is your thoughts on that, Father?
Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
Does it sound good?
Yeah, you sound good.
Man, what a picture.
If I could talk to you guys about, like, I know yesterday you had something about 2 genders.
Yes.
And I just had an epiphany. Well, it was just, it was just a while ago, and I decided that I'm transitioning into a woman. And I know yesterday was 2 genders, and I know it's supposed to be a man and a woman and stuff, but I just feel like something is happening to me, like I'm metamorphosizing into a woman.
Well,
And how did this come on, Father?
Well, let's see. I had a soy latte today, and I had soy nuts, and I had a salad with soy nuts with a coffee.
I think you got too much soy in your system, man. You need to go eat a steak.
So, yeah, I know yesterday was about two genders and all, and everything, you know. I can just feel the estrogen inside me right now. And, so, I just wanted to bring up yesterday's topic just for a moment. I know we're talking about abortion and all that, and, you know, AOC is a socialist nightmare. I mean, let's face it, Bernie Sanders couldn't run a lemonade stand, honey.
You know, Bernie Sanders is running for president now.
Oh, Bernie Sanders, listen, every time you see Bernie Sanders in an airport, girl, he's got one man on his right side, another man on his left side. And of course, we all know what that is. Those are his prostate massagers.
I think we accidentally got somebody, Donna White. I think you were accidentally sometimes fingers get a little bit clumsy, and I hope you're still in here. But yeah, I agreed with what you said. I did see what you said, but
yeah, I mean, I thought that's why I was kind of confused. I'm like, she is kind of right. I mean, who's in charge temporarily of the world right now? I mean, who did God, Jesus, say was going to be in charge temporarily?
That's a train. Who's got a train? I heard a train.
Oh, that would be Hillary Clinton passing by. She's going to prison.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Okay. Listen, guys, I'm going to be gone for just like 1 minute, and then I'll be back, okay?
Okay, go find Father for us, please.
Okay, I will.
Yes, please go find him.
We want him back desperately.
We want him back.
I want you back. There's a train again.
Oh, chugga chugga.
Oh.
So, but yeah, I mean, it's a crazy, you know, it's a crazy time we're living in. We've got a lot of things going on. We got the Mueller investigation. You know, we were hoping to have resolved today, but we know that they don't want to resolve it because that's going to have to release the, you know, the FISA report and all that kind of stuff.
Well, I know our president. Go ahead.
Yeah, let me ask you something. Who in the hell put that bug-eyed bitch in charge anyway?
What do you mean?
That damn AOC said she was the boss.
Oh, and she talks like she can't keep her hands still when she talks, and she's just everywhere. And you know, it's like I think she's got like a thyroid problem or something because girl is hyper, or maybe they drugging her, mind control. I don't know.
I have no idea what's going on with that woman.
Oh my gosh.
I know she belongs back to the bar she was at because I know she was doing the rounds under the table there.
Anyway, let's get back on track here. We're losing track.
It's that train. It's that train.
The trains are coming.
I hear the train.
I shared this on my Facebook and my Twitter, so we're gonna have some more people tonight.
Oh, awesome. Yeah,
hold on, I can do that too. Hold on.
Hashtag pro-life.
That's right.
Wait a minute. I need the link. Where's the link at for this?
Well, President Trump, he did defund some money to Planned Parenthood. Let's keep going with that. That would be great.
That
completely
was awesome.
It was the first step that I've seen any president willing to take.
Yeah, that was just it was
and we got to
amazing.
thank Mike Pence for that too, because thank God for Mike Pence.
Yeah, we definitely have to thank him for that. And I just, you know, today I got called out a hypocrite because, you know, because I'm pro-life and I'm a pro-Trumper. They're like, well, how many abortions did he fund and all that kind of stuff? It was like, this is what the left is. This is the tolerant left. Is if you have an opinion that doesn't fit them, then you're a hypocrite, or you're the name calling and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I do not. I believe that would not be in Donald Trump's blood to do that. He is too pro-life. Always has been. His family's been. I mean, they are doing a documentary on A&E. I don't know if it's going to be anti-Trump or Trump. I will watch it. If it starts to go left, I'm not watching it, though. It's called The Trump Dynasty or something.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I haven't seen that. I've been kind of off a little bit lately with my normal sources of information. I need to get back into, because y'all have your own stream, and I'm watching y'all, but I'm not getting the other information that I bring to you guys. So you guys are all doing really good.
Can you hear my microphone?
Oh, Father's back.
Yes, I'm here.
Is it the real father?
It's Father Menace, yes.
Did you eat a steak?
Wait, I just want to let you guys know that on my way to the bathroom, then on the way back to join in, I realized that I needed to transition back to a male.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah. I realized it was a big mistake.
That's good. I'm glad you found your way back from the bathroom.
Yeah, no more soy nuts for me. No more soy nuts.
I hope not. I hope not, because whoever that person was, oh my God.
All right. So we go ahead.
The topic of killing, first of all, let me just say this. I personally, as you can see from my picture, that is actually me, by the way. Some people think that that's actually me. But I am like a goth metal guy, and people, for some reason, automatically think that I'm satanic, or by default, they think of like Marilyn Manson or some shit like that. By default, satanic or some sort of evil person or whatever. But I'm quite the opposite. I'm none of those things. As a matter of fact, I'd rather live in a Christian country where people are open-minded. It's an open-minded society where it's live and let live, so to speak. And I certainly do not want to live in some sort of Luciferian type of country where there's killing factories everywhere and people just think it's okay. It's not okay to murder a 9-month boy or girl child. It's not okay. None of it's okay.
No, it's not okay at all. It's you know, somebody went in here and said it's a demonic thing, and that's exactly what it is. It's, you know, we just had the Arts of Baal going around lately, and now we're you know, like the late term abortion is, we're burning these kids alive. And that's how they sacrifice to Baal, who is Satan. And he wants that. He wants our children to be sacrificed. That's his way of getting back at God. And it's a horrible.
Well, it's a slippery. I told my daughter years ago. I said, this is a slippery slope. I said, Phoenix, it's abortion at this amount of trimesters, this amount of weeks. I said, before you know it, Phoenix, she was a little girl, I said, it's going to be a full-on baby. You watch. And she looked at me like, oh, are you crazy? And I'm like, no, Phoenix, it's going to happen. Watch. And sure enough, here it is.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like somebody snoring.
Yes, I was just going to say that.
Usually I'm the guilty one. I'm not snoring. My dog's not snoring.
I think it's Nacho.
Did Nacho fall asleep?
I think so, y'all.
Last night was Nick's fault, by the way.
Nacho.
Yeah, I think Nacho fell asleep.
We put him asleep, yo.
Nacho.
Rock-a-bye, baby.
Rock-a-bye, baby.
When the wind blows.
Poor Nacho. Nacho, I have to give him props today. Nacho he beat Jerry Springer in views today. they were live at the same time, and he had more views than Jerry Springer.
That's awesome.
We call him the Milli Vanilli version of Jerry Springer. Ooh, you know it's true.
That's hilarious.
So, anyways, yesterday was Nick's fault. We all know it.
Yeah, because Jovi's here. Jovi, jump on if you want.
Oh, you're gonna have to warn him.
Yeah, it's crazy time. Is he snoring? I hear snoring.
I told you it's got to be Nacho. He goes, he says, "Can anyone hear me? Can anyone hear me?" And then I'm like, "Yeah, I can hear you snoring."
I don't want to turn his mic off because that's funny.
It is funny.
That's the only time he's quiet is when, look it, the sound went away.
No.
Oh no, it's back. Oh man.
You gotta be kidding me.
That noise we were hearing the whole time was Nacho snoring. We just didn't realize it.
That's funny. That's hilarious. Oh wait, who jumped off? Oh no, Johnny's off. Yeah, it's still there. That's weird. The sound's
We need to get back
crazy.
on subject here. Okay, I'm going to send them all to these people.
Yeah, but the society that the indoctrination of these kids, and the way but the thing that what's going to fix it is us. They don't control us. That's the problem. They slowly have. Hi Bruce, hi Darlene, hi Da, hi douchebag, hi Jovi. Did I miss anybody? Is Carol in the house? GTO Mama's here. Abigail, Mohammed, Hala Habibi, Trumpster Bob. Buy some socks from Trumpster Bob. It's
Hey, KrisiAnn.
huh?
I'm gonna. How long do you plan on being on? I gotta jump off here for a minute. I just got a call from somebody that I have to take this.
You can take the call. We can listen.
No, probably not.
All right.
You don't want to be part of my drama.
No, we don't. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye now. I'll be back.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Get off the phone.
Don't tell me what to do. You ain't my daddy.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna get into this. It's me and Nick will be getting into this. He's supposed to,
You ain't my daddy. You ain't my daddy, son.
We're not going to get onto this in the public realm.
Yeah. Well, now it's quiet.
Yeah. So back on topic. It's almost as if we are predicting our future. Now, what I mean is, and this may sound silly to some people, I don't think it's silly. I think it's dead on. If you read books or movies, if you go back 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, for instance, I'll give you a perfect example. Does anybody in here know the movie Logan's Run?
No. I've heard about it, but no.
Yeah, I think I heard that.
Okay, well, everybody in here needs to watch this movie called Logan's Run. It was made back in the early 70s. And basically, it's a globalist dream. What it is they've created these dome cities, and they've taken all the citizens and they've put them in these dome cities to control everybody. And what happens is when you turn 32 years old, you go into this realm where they kill you, but the idea is that you're being reincarnated. But the thing is it's just population control. So anybody in here that hasn't seen the movie Logan's Run, you need to watch it because it's almost predicted where the globalists, how they pretty much are trying to figure out how to create a Logan's Run type environment for all of us. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to use the environment, global warming, as the trigger.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, abortion follows into this because in Logan's Run, life doesn't mean anything because at the age of 32 years old, you're killed. You're not allowed to live past the age of 32.
Wow.
And yes, it is on Netflix.
Yeah, and it seems like that's the narrative there. You know, it seems so absurd, but if you've seen things how it's been done, I mean, who would have thought things would be the way they are now? You know, who would have thought, you know, we would have transgender bathrooms? Who would have thought that we would have, you know, God taken out of school? Who would have thought we would have had, you know, teachers now being forced to teach our children about sexuality at the age of 5? I mean, this perversion that is, it's just gotten out of hand. And then too, with all, you know, all the equipment and all the video games and all the media that's available to kids, that's also teaching them. The kids spend more time with the indoctrinations of school, and when they're not in school, they're playing with this media that teaches them that it is cool. This perversion is cool. This is great. This is what's going on. And then you've got people like AOC, who's cute, who's perky, who has charisma, and she's now putting fear. I think she's cute. I think she's very pretty.
Okay.
And you know, she's putting this fear into these kids, saying don't have your own kids. You know, we're all going to die unless you pay 90% taxes. So these kids are thinking this way. You know, they just went over to Diane Feinstein, these little kids, and Diane Feinstein just ripped these little kids a new one. You know, and I hate saying this, but Diane Feinstein was right the way what she said. She wasn't right on how she said it, but what she said was true. And she's like, you guys can't come in here, say it's my way or no way. You know, we have to work things out. You know, unfortunately, we know she didn't mean it, you know, because her way is the Chinese way. But
do you think Diane Feinstein got her mugu gai pan and her fried rice from her driver?
Oh, heck yeah.
What's the Chinese way?
Yeah, with a little bit, like, with a little secret stuffed in the bottom of the plate.
Yep. Oh yeah, I think so. Definitely.
But yeah, you know, there's nothing wrong with being old-fashioned. I mean, what I mean is, you don't have to be a stick in the mud, and you don't have to be this kind of a shrew or kind of a person. But there's nothing wrong with being a little old-fashioned when it comes to children. I mean, children should just be left alone. And of course, we have the public school system. So how's that going to work? When you have the public school system, you know, it's everybody's going to public school, and it's public school system has. If you look 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40, 50 years ago, you see the progression moving towards the far left, and the whole system has been hijacked by these far leftist nut jobs. You see it in the colleges, you know. And so, what are we supposed to do? Are we going to take all of our children out of public school, and everyone's homeschooled? Or I mean, what is the solution?
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing is that we need to, as parents, get involved in the communities. I mean, I think we're relying too much on President Trump. I think that's the problem. We need to get involved. Community. We need to get involved in the local politics. We need to know, you know, how many of you all listening know who your local representative is?
Well, I know. Look, Chris, let me just rewind for a second. When I was in Catholic school, this may sicken some people, but I went to the old Catholic school in South Philly. This was a rough Catholic school. But one day in class, they brought in the television, and I remember clearly. Brother Coco says, "We're going to watch something today," and we're all like, "What are we going to watch?" And what it was, it was an abortion. They showed us a real abortion, and I'm not even kidding, this is in class, they showed us a real abortion. I mean, everyone in the class, including myself, we were totally horrified and got so sick that we all had to leave the room. And I know that sounds a bit rough and a bit harsh, but sometimes you need to smack people across the face in order for them to understand what's going on.
Right.
You could show them a real abortion.
I mean, for me, it's hard for me to hear. The world is such a horrid place, and like you got to teach kids how to adjust and cope with that. But for me, that would be something I wouldn't agree with, to show kids at that age. No, Jonny, you're not blocked.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
This was in high school. This was in the 10th grade.
I think you could. I think really you could show a lot of these Democrats a full abortion, and it wouldn't make any difference to them at all.
Oh, they're so cold-blooded.
They are.
They're so cold. They know exactly what they're doing. They know, like, Elizabeth Warren getting on there, her Twitter today and talking about it's all women's rights and, women's health and blah, 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 blah. Oh, I was so, like, I normally don't get upset because I know I'll control what I can control and do what I can do. And I'm not going to, let my emotions get the best of me. But today I was just, when I saw that tweet from her, I wish I could have just reached through that screen and just wring her neck.
I had to stay on Twitter for the rest of the day. It made me that upset.
What gets me is the people. Okay, now those children that went up there that were in front of Feinstein, okay, they were from Kentucky. You guys know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Actually, from it's the Capitol complex area down in there. It's all liberals. Okay, Kentucky's mainly red. It's a red state. You guys know that. But it'll never turn blue because, I mean, there's too many rednecks in there. They're not going to turn blue. But
wait, hold on. There's rednecks in Kentucky?
Oh, yeah. Well, hillbillies. How about that?
What's the difference between a redneck and a hillbilly?
Yeah,
a redneck and a hillbilly walk into the bar.
Actually, Kentucky is hillbillies, okay? And West Virginia is mountaineers. And the rednecks are, we call it the rednecks are all in all the other southern states.
Alabama, Mississippi.
Yeah, that's where the rednecks are.
Louisiana.
So if they're in the Appalachian Mountains, though, they're pretty much mountaineers or hillbillies or hilljacks, whatever you want to call them. But don't ever underestimate those people because those will be the first ones to get you. That's our rough and tumble bunch. They'll drink beer with you. They'll party with you. But if they disagree with you and you don't get your ass out of Dodge, they'll tear your head off.
Oh, they're crazy.
Yeah, they are.
They're crazy.
I went to school there. I grew up there in the mountains. Okay, I live on top of a mountain right now.
Rocky Mountain High.
The thing is, I mean, don't think for 1 second that these people out here in the Appalachians aren't educated, because they are educated. And those little kids that were sent up there, I thought that was the worst indoctrination I've ever seen in my life. Oh, we're going to die in 12 years. No, you're not going to die until I beat you to death with this belt, you brat. That's what Diane Feinstein wanted to tell them. I mean, she knows that global, this back and forth conversation with the guns and with everything they do is a back and forth. If you guys notice this over the last 30, 40 years, it's always a back and forth over everything. That's from abortion to gun rights, anything in that Constitution, they block it. They fight the other side, and it's constantly fighting back and forth, back and forth. And that's how the Democrats keep people. You know what? People should wake up, though, really, to this crap. They haven't woken up to it yet. I don't know what it's going to take. 9/11 didn't do it. You know what is it gonna take to wake these idiots up?
Well, I mean, 9/11. How long ago was that? It was quite a bit. You know, and we've had almost a generation now. You know, they don't know. You know, the kids that they're wanting to vote.
Well, you know what? They don't even know what happened in World War II because they won't explain it to them. Okay, this is World War II. They disarmed people in Germany. That's the way that they killed people.
Mm-hmm.
If you've got guns, you can fight back. But if you don't have any guns, remember Waco? How many of you can remember what happened at Waco?
I remember Waco.
Okay,
oh, yeah.
All right. Okay. Did the people shoot the cops? Yes, they did.
They shot after the police shot first. Then they shot the cops.
Right, but did the people shoot the cops? Did they get shot? Did the cops?
Well, they were being shot at. Their children were inside the home. What did you want them to do?
I'm trying to make a point here. You've got guns. You can fight them. Okay, you should never get yourself inside of a building like that. And to get one person, they should have never done that anyway with the tank. Okay?
They could have picked him up before that, though. They saw him walking around downtown.
Right. That's right.
They deliberately did that.
To light those kids on fire and the other people that were in there was wrong.
Absolutely.
It was just like when they executed Lavoy Finicum up there, okay? Remember
well, Mueller was in charge of all that.
That's right. And you've got illegal people in here running the government, and the government itself, there's no, like BLM, Bureau of Land Management. They don't need high-powered rifles and ARs.
Right.
All they do is overlook public lands. They don't need guns to go out there do that shit. Hey, listen here. I moved in this house right here. I had an IRS guy show up, okay? And he was looking for the previous guy that lived in this house, all right? He had a gun on his side. He was on my property. I was like, dude, who are you? I'm the IRS and you're so-and-so. He was trying to say that I was this guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
I told him, I said, get your ass off this freaking property, okay? I'm not the guy you're talking about. Anyway, I would have shot the son of a bitch anyway. But anyway, to make a long story short, he took off and left. He's never been back because, he knows now. He looked on the computer, finally looked on the computer, I guess, to find out that house had been purchased. So how in the hell could that guy still be living here when he lost the house? The house was taken by the bank.
This is Brownstein Fat, and you're listening to the KrisiAnn Show.
You gotta be smooth, bro.
Hey, look, don't be giving me no shit.
This thing, Matt, and this is live with KrisiAnn on what is it, Tuesday night? Is it Tuesday? No, it's Monday.
Monday, February 25th.
It's Monday, February 5th. You're listening to, this is Brownstein Fat, and you're listening to KrisiAnn. Okay?
All right, thanks. Thanks, Brownstein Matt.
No problem.
Lord help me.
Amen.
We can't, we got to break it up every once in a while.
You gotta keep it smooth, bro.
Throw a little comedy in there.
Yeah.
You were supposed to wake me from my slumber using a car battery. What's your deal, man?
Sorry.
Senate Democrats just voted against legislation to prevent the killing of newborn infant children. The Democrat position on abortion is now so extreme that they don't mind executing babies after birth.
Can I give you the names of all the senators that voted?
Yes,
please do.
Okay.
I was trying to get the list.
KrisiAnn, I'll be back in a second. I'll be out. I'll be right back.
All right, thanks, Brownstein Matt.
It's no problem.
These are all Democrats. There's like two independents. The two independents is King from Maine and Sanders, of course, from Vermont. I can I think a lot of people thought Sanders wasn't for this, but whatever. Baldwin from Wisconsin, Bennett from Colorado, Blumenthal from Connecticut, Booker from New Jersey, Brown from Ohio, Cantwell from Washington. I almost broke my arm just now. Cardin from Maryland, Carter from Delaware, Coons from Delaware, Cortez Masto from Nevada, Duckworth from Illinois, Durbin from Illinois, Feinstein, Finston from California, Gillibrand from New York, Harris from California, Hassan from New Hampshire, Heinrich from New Mexico, Hirono from what? Oh, Hawaii. I'm like saying what? What state has an H in the beginning of it? Kane from Virginia, Klobuchar from I believe that's Minnesota. I don't know. Minnesota? That's Minnesota. Okay. Lee from Vermont, Markey from Massachusetts. No. What's MA?
Massachusetts.
Montana?
No.
MO is
No,
Montana.
MT is Montana.
Okay.
And
MA
what?
is
What's
MA
MO?
is
Missouri?
Massachusetts?
Oh yeah, ML is Missouri, MT is Montana, and MA is Massachusetts.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Massachusetts. Okay. Menendez from New Jersey, Merkley from Oregon,
Oh, I see what's
Murphy
wrong.
from Connecticut, Murray from Washington, Peters from Michigan, Reed from Rhode Island, Rosen from Nevada. That. Schatz from Hawaii. Schumer, that's scumbag from New York. Shaheen from New Hampshire. Cinema from AZ. That. I mean, she's cute, but she's dumb. Okay, let me see. Smith from
She's
Minnesota.
a carpet muncher.
Staben out from Michigan. I was trying to help McSally out there, but there was no chance. Tester from Montana. No, what's MT?
Montana,
Okay. So what's MO?
Missouri.
Missouri.
Okay. Udall from New Mexico. Van Hollen from Maryland. Warner from Virginia. Warren from Massachusetts. Warren from Massachusetts. Warren from Massachusetts. White House. This guy's name is White House. He's a Democrat from Rhode Island. I didn't even know that. Wyden from Oregon. Wow. These are all the ones that voted. Let's call it.
Well, Hirono's a little
75% of the women that get abortions, are economically, they live in poor neighborhoods and stuff. And whose fault's that? You know what I mean? The Democrats are doing nothing to help these people, and they're suggesting these mothers and these women to kill their babies, and they're giving them no options, and that just breaks my heart. They're giving them no options at all. There's plenty of options in killing babies.
Do they ever say anything about all the murders that go on in the black neighborhoods?
No.
But if you want to
It's
find
a
where all the
population
Planned
control.
Parenthoods are, they're always in the black neighborhoods. If you want to find out it, and the thing about it is, like California, for example, we are the most prosperous state that there is, but we have our government is notorious for their reckless spending. There we have the highest immigrants, we have the highest homeless rates, we have the highest taxes. And two, if the federal government puts any money in reserve for us and we mishandle it, we will not give the money back. You can ask our governor about that one, and the disastrous speed railway that nobody wanted, that they insisted that they put in, that, let's see who benefited from that. That would be from the people that voted, or that would be from the, I think Nancy Pelosi had something to do with it. And I think also Brown had something to do with it, from the people that they're connected to and the resources. And
well, what are they doing? Stealing your money from you or what?
Yeah, it's it's the good old buddy system. Let's get this railway approved. They didn't care about it. Nobody. to jump on a plane to go from LA or from like where I'm at, Ontario, is like 20 minutes, and it's like a $75 to take a 30-minute trip to Sacramento or to San Francisco, 45 minutes. You know, it's not a big deal to hop on a plane to go up north to Northern California. So, you know, I'm not going to pick a train over an airplane, especially when I'm so close to like an airport that's easy to use.
Why is
That's
it
just
only
ridiculous.
me? Because I will go out there and start the Harley Davidson up and ride straight up north and cause problems, and I don't care about them.
See,
You
I'm
know,
not a.
hell with them planes and all that shit.
I'm
Because
not
you
a.
know what? Commercial airlines don't do nothing but crash anyway.
Look, guys, I'm not a partisan hack, but screw the Democrats, seriously. Like, I always try to give the party a chance. Maybe they'll, like, come to their senses.
Never
But
gonna
my
happen.
God,
Nope.
44 of them, 44 voted against that. I was shocked. And I thought, maybe one Republican, because, some of these Republicans, they're very, like, conniving,
Republican can't.
or vindictive. And
They're
they,
rhinos, my man.
yeah, they're rhinos, but even the rhinos voted yes. So I think that's good to know that rhinos care about infant lives. So who knows? Maybe this is a way for us to really expose the evil within this country. Like, I don't like to lean to one direction, and say like I'm a right winger and left wingers are
Any
un-American.
Democrats vote with the Republicans. Any. Even
Yeah,
one.
but
Who?
that's the thing. Like,
Joe
I always
Manchin.
want to give people the benefit of the doubt, and they just proved me wrong.
Yeah, but did Joe Manchin vote with the with the Republicans?
No, I didn't
He
see
did
Manchin.
not. He voted for that bill.
I don't think he did.
I'll tell you, I'm going to explain my little theory here. Okay, Joe Manchin is in West Virginia. Okay, he is the last standing Democrat. That state has completely turned red to the point of it's bleeding red. All right. Now, I would say that if he voted for abortion, and that being one of the biggest Christian states in the Bible Belt, okay, his ass will be gone if he voted for that crap. I can just about guarantee you that. Because, see, guess what? I'm from West Virginia. So I know the people there. The people there, they'll get rid of his ass. They may not vote a Republican in his spot, but they'll vote someone that will vote against any abortion shit that goes on. Because when I was growing up and I was a kid down there, those abortion doctors and everything, they were getting their heads blown off. Think about what I just said. They were getting shot to death. And you can look all that up on the internet.
I believe
I
it.
am 55 years old, almost 56. If you look it up on the internet, I'm sure there will be some shooting deaths of doctors and personnel that were in abortion clinics in West Virginia back in the day.
I'm
That's
not mad
not
at
the
that.
answer. That's not the answer.
It's not the answer because doing one or two of them wouldn't be
exactly.
the answer.
Here's my thing. I think people who are Christians and stuff need to go to these Planned Parenthoods and stay outside and don't have those signs that these people are whores or they're going to go to hell and stuff like that because God says not to judge them. I think if we talk to them nice and tell them their options that they can have abortions and how they have open abortions where they could still be involved with their children, try to encourage them not to kill their babies. But don't scream at them and tell them, oh, they're going to be going to hell if they do this. Because that's not the answer either, because then they're just going to do it anyway. But if you sit there and talk to them like it's your own sister or your own daughter, you know what I mean? I think that would help.
Well, they do that.
But some of them just carry signs. You've seen the signs. People do it all the time.
Before Roe versus Wade, you know, before that era, there were many confrontations. And it was between the clinics that they have now that they're funding. And actually, back then, West Virginia was a blue state. So you guys don't remember. See, I'm getting up there in years, you know. I remember this stuff. West Virginia used to be blue. Actually, Virginia used to be red back in those days. Now Virginia's red. Virginia's blue and West Virginia is red. So they've swapped. You know, and then Florida never was like that. It never was a flip-flop state because people with money moved down to Florida, you know, because you have to have a little money to go down there and buy a condo to, you know, live out your last remaining 10 to 20 if you've got that many.
Yeah, that sounds like a jail term.
Yeah, now I wouldn't want to live there for anything. I mean,
I'm in Florida.
Yeah, but I wouldn't want it because the gun legislation coming down the pipe through Florida, I don't want that.
Yeah.
Now, see, at this state where I'm at now, I'm in Ohio, guys. So if this state right here does any funky shit with red flag laws or anything, I will go across the Ohio River. I will go into West Virginia. I will set up camp because guess what? It's one of the constitutional carry states.
I'm going up in the mountains in Kentucky somewhere, way up there. I'm done with living in New York. I hate it here. I literally hate it. It is horrible here.
I couldn't do that.
You're in the part of New York that votes red.
I'd be like
you're in the part of New York that's more conservative than me.
No, you wouldn't believe that. No, I'm not. I know you might think that, but I'm really not. I mean, maybe if you traveled maybe a half hour or 45 minutes into other small towns, you might see that. But me, I'm invested. This is nothing but snowflakes, people who don't vote unless it has something to do with like the school board or the prison, something that has to do with that. But literally don't vote at all. You got drug addicts. You got kids having kids. You got, it's horrible. I'm telling you, I know what you're saying, but it's bad.
Well, you're near the Buffalo.
No, I'm near Erie, PA, Morley. Like I'm an hour and 10 minutes away from Erie, PA.
Oh, okay.
Are you far from the Poconos?
South.
Am I far from what?
New York.
That's on the other side of, well, that's on the other side of Pennsylvania. That's on the Lake Erie. Poconos are over by Jersey, the Delaware River.
Yeah, it's
that's
more like
western Pennsylvania. She's in the western Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I got couple prisons near me. In fact, one of them's just for sex predators. Literally, just for sex predators.
I thought this whole area up here in the Northeast was going to be a prison. Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry.
What did you say, Johnny?
I said the whole area is going to be a prison up here in the Northeast.
That sounds like a John Carpenter movie.
You guys.
That's another thing. Can you believe sex predators get less time than people who stab and kill people? I mean, literally, I think a person who's going to have sex with children, multiple children, have child pornography, and they only get, 3 years, 5 years? That's disgusting.
Yeah, see, no. If you rob some, like if you were to kill somebody, now this state here, they would probably put you to death, but this is Ohio. Okay. West Virginia, murder, probably 25 at the most. Okay. 5 to 25, okay? Something like that, murder. But if you harm a child, you won't make it to prison. Or if you did something to a child and you went to prison, they'll eat you once you get there, okay? And then, I mean, you don't really want to go to prison there because, like, look at a picture of Moundsville.
Mm-hmm.
Look at Moundsville prison. You don't want to go there. Trust me. It would be like going into an old European castle, and that's where they're keeping you at. And there's some shit down in the dungeon that they're going to feed you to.
So, getting back on topic, and there's a couple things. There's a couple things here, right? So yesterday, it was. There's only two genders, okay? Okay, mother, father, boy, girl. Okay, mother, father, boy, girl, and man, woman, okay? And then, of course, today's topic is abortion. So you have the slippery slope of the slippery slope of pronouns.
Are you okay, Johnny?
Anyways, so what you have now is the pronouns. Okay, you don't have. So they're attacking mother, father, boy, girl, and the family unit. Okay, that's number one. Number two, now we're going to the slippery slope of abortion, to where now it's a 9-month-old baby being murdered. So it's like all this
It's
is all one
disgusting.
thing. All this is one thing.
I can't believe we've come to this. I
What do
cry
you think?
sometimes because I mean, I'm adopted. My mom could have killed me, but she gave me life. She gave me a choice. She gave me an option. It's sad. It's sad.
You know, and that is such a amazing thing. Like that you are viable. You're a mom. You've done great. I mean, look at the beautiful things that you bring into this earth. Look at the wonderful things that you've done, and that's, you know, and this abortion has become a form of birth control, and they want to disguise it as women's health issues. It's not a health issue.
I know.
The choice is yours from the very beginning. You could say no. You can keep your legs closed.
Whatever happened to embracing nature's plan? Whatever happened to embracing a woman, embracing a man? They have a child. They have a small family. Whatever happened to embracing nature's way? Nature's way is the coolest thing ever. I mean, it's the most.
It is.
I mean,
beautiful.
Whatever, you know, how did we go down this go down this slippery slope of it's uncool. It's uncool. Mother and father these days. It's not trendy. It's not trendy. Mother and father. No, we don't have. We don't have.
Can I read something to you guys?
We don't have boys and girls. We have babies. We have babies.
Oh, babies. Yeah, that's crazy.
Can I read this to you?
Sure.
Go ahead.
It's called The Engine of Cyclical History. Hard times create. Wait, actually, here we go. Weak men create hard times. Hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men. Weak men create hard times. And that's the way it goes.
Mm-hmm.
So we are at the point where weak men are creating hard times. Weak men who are afraid to actually vote against certain bills and certain
that's actually
types
in the
of
Bible.
un-American policies, you know, and we're still in this point right now where men really strengthen themselves off of what their fathers taught them or their grandfathers taught them. They can't go by what their teachers taught them, what they're, what they're learning from just the mainstream media. They have to go by, traditional values. And once we lose that, we lose this country.
Absolutely.
And we're losing it right now. And people do not have the strength to actually go to these places. Like he said, they would blow somebody's head off if they were, what was it? If they were abortionists or whatever, abortion doctors, they would get their heads blown off. Now, men are so weak, they won't even put fear in the hearts of those men who take the lives of innocent children or unborn children, And I'm not saying go out there, huh?
I wish more women would be vocal and come out all the pussy hat wearing idiots. These marches. I wish there was more women on the other side that would get up on a microphone and I mean, I know we have the march and decent, but I'm talking about it needs to happen more often. We need to see more women say enough is enough.
You see, the problem with women today is that, well, actually, this has always been the problem. I always bring this up. The 19th Amendment wasn't about equality. It was about having your cake and eating it too. It had nothing to do with men and women being equal when it came to voting, because a man's requirement to vote was, once again, to be drafted or bucket duty. That wasn't a woman's requirement. So it kind of weakened the strength of what a vote was. And people today, they vote their lives away because they're also the ones that are dependent on the government. So they don't know
Exactly.
what the hell they want. They don't know what they're voting for, right? And neither party is really delivering, but we believe that one party is stronger than the other. Both parties do want more government, right? But there was a time where men didn't want government. Men shot the men who tried to tell them that we're taking your guns were shot. And this is how the revolution happened. And this is what we need. I'm not saying to kill these people, but I'm telling you right now, you should put your rights in front of your laws and make the government understand that you are not going to back down. But there has to be many of us that are doing this, not just one person, and then that person becomes an example. When you have enough people, you can teach a lesson. But when you don't have enough people, you're going to be made an example of, you know?
I mean, we're all work. The thing is like we're all working. We all got jobs. You know what I mean? It's like you see these people. It's like you see the signs are already pre-made. They're in these organizations. It's totally astroturf.
Oh no, they trust me. They have jobs, but their bosses don't care because they're out there fighting the establishment. They don't care. They praise them. They go, "Oh my God, you went out there." They talk about it. They talk about it at the water cooler. These people, they're all together in this. Hello,
we're not in
most
that
of these
world. That's the
companies
problem. We're not in that world. You know what I mean?
Well, Elizabeth Luker just said, she goes, I agree. She goes, I go to many pro-life rallies and I speak. The problem is we're all in an echo chamber. And I think that's probably the problem, is that, we're speaking to the choir, but what are we going to do about it? How are we going to reach out to the other people?
Do what I do. Go to their events. You'll get people. You'll always get people. I go to leftist events. I go to protests. I don't go to rallies for Trump supporters. I don't go to Republican meetups. And when I do, I look for people that are not all sheep. I look for people who think for themselves. That's what I do. So if you guys really want to do that, understand that there are sheep in every single movement.
Yeah,
I remember.
I mean, that's a given.
I used to think that Trump supporters were thinking for themselves and they all see themselves as individuals. Boy, was I wrong. They became a cult-like movement, and it was really bad. So, MAGA was supposed to be culture, not cult, and it became a cult. Why? Because weak men create hard times. You have weak men in this movement who are not telling you the truth, who are basically saying something in a way that you might think, oh, these people love their free speech and they express it freely. That's not true. They're for comfortable speech. And I always say this, comfortable speech. They're not for free speech. You have to know the difference. They are not going to stand there and allow you to say something if they disagree with you. And these are conservatives, these are right wingers, these are people that say that they're for free speech that are doing that. There are people on the right wing movement who are fighting against people because of their free speech because they don't agree with it. I'm not even joking. And I call those people out every single day. They're in CPAC. They're in, what's the other event that they go to? The Turning Point events. They're in all those events. They don't believe in free speech. They believe in their speech.
For instance, me, as somebody who writes music and I've been performing on stage. And anyways, my new song that I'll be putting together and finishing. This song right here is going to be it's going to be horrifying, to be honest. I mean, I've said it to Chrissy before, and I want to raise money to shoot the video. If I actually have the money to shoot the video with the song, the lyrics, it will be absolutely horrifying. Basically, I'm outing myself in such a way that it could, I don't know if it would destroy me or what it would do, but I'm doing it anyways. That's what I'm doing, and that's all I can do at the moment. But it's a possibility. This new song with a company with a video could out me in a bad way or a good way. I'm not quite sure yet, but quite honestly, I'm doing it. I'm doing it because I feel like I have to. And
I hear you, man. I mean, I'm organizing an event right now, and we're
I
raising
would
money to
love
fly
to
a guy from South
join you
Africa.
Joby,
He's a
one time.
boar.
I
He's
love to
dealing
join
with
you one
this.
time, Joby. Absolutely. I
Yeah.
financially have the
So
money to.
yeah, so this guy, he's from South Africa. He's a boar. He's one of those farmers, the farmers that are being killed out there, right? So this is what's happening in South Africa.
in South
The
Africa,
blacks that live out there, they kill the white farmers and then they can't farm, so they starve and then they beg for the white farmers to come back. The white farmers come back, they kill them again. So we're trying to like basically get them out here to speak. Now, these events that I'm organizing, these are events for people that understand what free speech is. My events are focused on people that have been ignored, people that Trump one time used to speak about, people that make up Trump's base. But the problem is right now that when you stand for a certain idea of nationalism, it is seen as a separatist or a racist or some other nonsense. It has nothing to do with identity. Identity politics doesn't work because not everyone's allowed to express their identity. Not everyone's allowed to be proud of their identity. Do you understand that? That's
well,
why I
yeah. I
never
mean,
called myself anything
I,
for
I,
Trump.
I'm
Well, how,
definitely out. I'm definitely ousted for the way that I look, and not all Trump people, but there are some, especially some that are very religious. They automatically assume something about me, and they're not very nice to me. You know?
Look, I went to Kate Steinley's protest, I mean rally, when they reached the verdict for Zarate, who basically got a slap on the wrist. We went out there in the snow in New York City, right in front of Fox News. There was people that had signs for Kate Steinley. One guy had a sign that says "Stop killing white people," and the dumb woman told him that this is not the message we're trying to send. Can you believe that? The guy was not allowed to have a sign that said "Stop killing white people."
well, here's the
Yeah,
thing: they're not just killing white people. I hate to say this, but they've killed so many black babies throughout. I mean, since what, the
No, I'm
60s?
talking about an illegal who killed Kate
yeah.
Steinley
Oh,
under
I'm
a
sorry.
San
boardwalk.
Francisco. This is San Francisco.
Yeah. So this is what I'm talking about. Like people don't understand. Like when someone has a sign like that, they're saying that whites also need to be mentioned or raise awareness to as well. Not that every other race matters, every other race needs to be spoken about and disregard whites. Trump does it all the time. He talks about African American unemployment, Asian unemployment, Latino unemployment. He never talks about white American unemployment. Because the moment anyone says white American, oh my
Oh,
God,
everyone will go
oh,
nuts.
you know,
It's sad that
I no, I hear you. I know what you mean. It is sad.
Well, it would be racist for him to do that, Joey. Okay, it would be ultimately racist for him to sit there and say anything about white people. Just like he brought up the point about nationalism. Okay, nationalism. This is not Nazi Germany. Okay, this is not. We're not talking about. We're talking about being proud of our country, not being neo-Nazi skinheads, and I know they're out there, but they're not as many as everybody thinks. That,
It's very small few.
yeah, I mean, even the KKK has dwindled down to nothing hardly. I mean, I can show you where they're at, and their little bastions. Oh, okay, they're there, okay, but there's racist black people, and there's racist Mexicans, and you're not going to
Asian.
stop that shit. And there's Asians that don't like white people, don't like black people. Okay, right. We got
You
that.
ask for napkins and they give you one.
Well, that's I know martial arts myself, so
I
I
mean,
could smack them around in a restaurant.
how come they never talk about Indians? They never talk about Indians. Indians stick to themselves. They marry within each other. It's what I mean. They make it no secret. They have arranged marriages. They like to marry their own race. They stick together. There's nothing wrong with that. But they never say anything
Indians,
about Indian
Chinese,
families.
Jews, and they're the most successful people in America.
Well, everybody here would say that I live in a racist area.
I live near a reservation, and they're not really nice. I mean, they're more of like a low class Native American, like poor. I mean, have you drove around on reservations anyway in any of your states?
Out west, yeah.
See how they live. Some of them. I'm not saying the ones. The casinos and stuff, and the successful ones, the business ones. You know, I'm not talking about those, but I'm talking about most of them are pretty poor.
Yeah, go to the Indian reservations in Nebraska.
They hate Trump.
Hold on, Elizabeth Luker said that she. I'm sorry to cut you off. She said that she made a phone call to the adoption agency of an orphaned boar, and she was pretty much laughed at. You see?
Yeah, I saw that. It's sad. That's sad. When I hear that stuff, that just breaks my heart, especially California, because I know stuff like that's true because I had my cousin who adopted 3 boys. Now she lives in New York State. But yeah, it's not easy.
What's a boyer?
This is why we're flying this guy in, and he's going to speak. He's going to talk about the atrocities that happen in South Africa.
What is a boer?
And who?
Elizabeth said a boer, and what is that? I don't know.
Boer.
Do you know?
It's a South African white farmer.
Oh.
Yeah. So there's a white genocide going on, and I forgot who mentioned it. Somebody actually mentioned that, saying that we should take in people from South Africa versus taking people in from like Venezuela or
Well, look what Obama did for 8 years. How many people did he? I want to say this, but don't get me wrong. Bad Muslims. How many? Think about it. New York State's filled with them. You got Minnesota, Michigan, New York City.
Hey, now you're in New York, right? Have you ever heard of a coon ass?
No.
Okay. Now, listen now. Okay, the people in the bayou, they're white. They're white. Oh, some of them are black. Okay, and they prefer to be called the coon asses. Okay, and that's what they prefer. And a lot of people don't even know that. I mentioned that up here where I'm at now. Like I'm in Ohio, and somebody thought I was making a racial remark, but I corrected him. I said, no, you look this up on the internet. Look at the bayou down there, all the way around, the deep, deep south, all the way around, and all the way down into Texas. And you know what they are? They're called the coon asses. So everybody depicts things the wrong way, too, all the time. There's words used all the time, and people don't know. And the N word has always meant ignorant person, and it doesn't mean, it is an interrogatory statement. People shouldn't do it. They do it anyway, don't they? Right, Father?
It's not that people shouldn't do it. It's that people shouldn't be so offended. Like, seriously. Like, I've been hearing every racial slur coming out someone who's black, including the one against themselves. And it's okay for them to do that. But yet anybody else does it, they have to check themselves. Give me a break, seriously. I don't use the word only probably because Paul Mooney stopped using it. And Paul Mooney was the guy who wrote comedy for Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy, and Dave Chappelle. Yeah. So if the guy that basically wrote comedy for all these black comedians that use that word every single bit or routine stopped using it, then maybe everyone should stop using it. But not because I'm afraid to use it. It's because it's ridiculous, Now, don't get me wrong. There are people who deserve to be called that because of the way they act. But I like to use the other word, which is dindu. I think it's funny. But yeah, dindus is the word I use.
Dindu. What is that?
You got a whole bunch of you have a whole bunch of wannabe thugs and gangsters I grew up with. They're all, bang bang, skeet skeet on the videos, but when they're in front of the cops, I didn't do nothing, and that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's like you bragged about it. So
Right.
live up to your name. Live up to the name you gave yourself. You know, that's the problem with the society today, is that nobody wants to live up to the name that they're giving themselves. You call yourself a conservative, then live up to that name. You call yourself a gangster, then live up to that name. But no, you're not going to. You're just a facade, and that's all you want to do is play the part, but not actually be in the movie. You know,
Well,
and this is the problem that we're dealing with today. Everyone's all for the drama, but once the action happens, everyone's all for the drama again. Nobody wants to be a part of the action. See me, I'm a part of the action. I go out there and I tell people exactly what's wrong with this country. I said it in front of everybody, I think 2 days ago. We have Christians in this country, white Christian males, who are cucking to every other ideology. They don't take a stand for themselves.
Yeah.
They are letting people kick them around, and when they fight back, it's considered racism, and that is BS. That is a lie. That is a bold-faced lie. It's not racism when you're trying to defend your race, trying to defend your culture, you're trying to defend your own family. That's what pisses me off.
How is it by you, Chrissy, where you live in your community? I mean, how is it by you?
In my community, it's so mixed. I live in a homeowners association. We're not gated, but we have our own association and, you know, our amenities and stuff like that. And it's a mixed culture. But I mean, I live in a huge city. So if I go parts of the city where, I'm racially profiled and treated horribly. I'm treated like I'm some type of, you know, supremacist, or just, I was, some black man screamed at me at the gas station the other day and called me an effing white bitch.
So you get it too then?
Oh yeah. Because
Christy, what did you do?
I was turning, I had my blinker on, and he cut me off, and I honked at him. It's like, dude, like, I had the right of way and you cut me off. And he just started screaming at me, and he was a big dude, and he was like, you know, like puffing up. It's like, really? You think I'm that stupid to take you on? You know, come on. You know, I'm going to take you on with my cell phone and call 911. That's what I'm going to do. But, you know, it's just, and, you know, I was at we were at a pizza joint, and it was owned by, I'm guessing, Mexicans. And the girl was younger, and she helped the people behind us who were also Mexican. And
Did
she
you
helped
say
the people.
gassy Mexicans?
No, I guess they were Mexicans. I don't know. They were Latina or whatever.
Go ahead, Chrissy.
They helped the people behind us. I mean, she just did not want us there. She made it very clear that she did not want us there. And we just walked in. I mean, there was no, you know, and I'm friendly. I'll smile at everybody when I first see them and say hi. And, you know, I want to bring joy wherever I go. And you could just feel the hate as soon as I walked in the door. It was like,
absolutely. Yes. You can feel the eyes on you, even though, you know what I mean? Absolutely. Yeah. Especially when you go out to eat or go to the mall. Yeah.
But on the same notion, though, there, you know, but you also have the other end of it too. You know, I had something that I had thrown in the back of my car and I'd forgotten about it, and I needed to throw it away. So this guy thought I had kids or something, and he was like, "Those kids make messes in the back of the car," and he was just a really nice, sweet man, and we had this great conversation. So, I mean, there's always going to be the good with the bad, but I think you know, it's unfortunate the bad is becoming greater than the good.
Yeah, you know, the thing is, like, when you're an alpha male, and I'm sure Jovi and Jonny in here, they experience the same thing as alpha males. You can feel it when you come into, like, say, for instance, the Starbucks. And I don't ever go into Starbucks that often. Sometimes, or you can, and you get around these little wormy soy sipping sissies. You can feel it. You can feel it. When I walk in, I can see the terror in their eyes, because they know that I'm an alpha male and I'm standing over them, and I can just feel how they hate me. You know, I can feel it. They sense something about me that's not establishment. You know, I'm somebody who's not some government butt licker, and I'm probably a Trump voter, and this, that, and the other thing. And I'm sure Jovi and Jonny have experienced the same thing, walking into places where there's a lot of
Yeah, it's called they think
left.
you're a cop. When they think you're a cop, they basically think you're right wing. That's how it is. Like at one time, they used to think you were a cop. So now anybody that thinks you're a cop just thinks you're a Republican now. So that's the way it used to be. I guess the idea of authority is on the right wing side, not the left wing.
I mean,
So
I
they
can
kind of
feel it.
admit to their own folly.
Like I know somebody who is a total leftard. I can tell because I can see they look at me a certain way. I could feel the lasers, the daggers coming out of their eyeballs at me, and it happens often. You know, I'm like thinking to myself, listen, I know that you have subscribed to this. I'm going to be this lefty cult mentality, and I'm not that. It's obvious that I'm not that, and it happens all the time in certain places. And I quite honestly, I don't care. I walk right up on them. I can feel it. I can feel, and I just basically I'll push them out of the way. I think that's honestly. I think got to have more people need to have the mentality of like, if they come up to you, you need to push them out of the way. You know what I mean? They come up and they start saying stuff to you, whatever. You need to push them out of the way. And no more of this like, I'm afraid to do something. I'm just going to stand on the sidelines and I'm going to, I'm too afraid, or I'm afraid of this. No, man, I don't do that. I don't subscribe to that shit. I just push their ass right out of the way. And more of us got to do that. We can't be like Republicans. Republicans are afraid of their own shadow in D.C. And quite honestly, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of these twits in D.C. We need more people like Jovi, myself, more like Jonny, more men like that need to be in D.C.
Yeah, I think that's the thing is we need to get a little bit louder. We need to stand our ground because they've gotten away with it for so long. They've gotten away with this mentality of, calling us names, and we don't want, we've become complacent because we don't want to seem intolerant. We want to seem loving. But the thing is, we are loving, and we love our country, and we love our kids, and we love our home. And that's what this country was built on. This country was formed. This is why we are here. And if we don't do something, we're losing it.
If I was one of those Covington kids, I'm not even kidding. If I was one of those Covington kids, one of those black Israelites came up to me and said that crap to me, I would have punched him right in his freaking face. Full on. I would have decked his ass right there on camera.
Yeah. But then you would have been the racist one, and you would have been the wrong, you would have been,
Well, yeah. I mean, but you got the other half that they would see me as a hero.
Oh, yeah.
So, the hell with it.
Yeah.
You're saying that stuff to me, I'd punch him right in his damn mouth.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the media has totally screwed it up, because and then here's the thing, and this is the problem that we need to think of a solution is, okay, you're a father, right? Let's say you're a father and you've got your kids. Well, you are a father, but you have your kids, you have your home, you have your job, you have your career. You're going to punch this person in the face to make the stand that we need to make and protect our country? Or do you risk hurting your family, losing your job, losing your kids, losing your house? It's that battle, it's that conflict that we have to figure out on what to do. And the thing to do is to get involved locally, get involved with the local politics. So when somebody does take a stand like that for the right purpose and for the right reasons, they are protected. Canada now, it's illegal to shoot an intruder. There's a guy that just went to jail for manslaughter because he shot an intruder in his house.
Well, we all know where Canada's going. It's a damn shame.
But the thing is, we're following pursuit. You know, if we don't stand up, we are going to be Canada.
Not me.
Johnny's laughing because
I'll back into one state where it's that, and I'll say, okay, guys, we're seceding from the Union, and if they don't like it, we're going to take 1 million men and shove it up their ass. I mean, that's all there is to it.
Johnny, like if you were in D.C., okay, and you were there as a chaperone for the Covington kids, and then the Black Israelites showed up, and they started that. I mean, I don't know about you, Johnny, but I would have gone right up to that guy's face, and I would have laid his ass out.
Well, he said something there that really disturbed me. It was that, he was going to kill all the white people. And I would have told them right then and there, I would have said, you can't even kill me, all of you. So how are you going to kill all the white people?
Well, those Israelites think that white people are demons. We're
white people are not demons, and black people are not demons. I know a lot of friggin' good people on all of them, but the thing is, I'm going to tell you guys something, and I want you to listen real good to this one. The ones you do not trust at all, ever, is the Muslims. Okay? The Muslims will lie right to your face and then come back and kill you later. Okay, it's called taqiyya, ketman. Okay, and they use it day in, day out, day in, day out, and they do not play. They will come back and get you. They will use their children to come back and get you.
Well,
yeah,
I mean,
and it's written in the Quran too. If you have to lie to promote Islam, then do it.
That's a fact.
So, I mean, what do you think about
those Black Israelites? I just would have told them that you guys couldn't fight your way out of a wet paper bag.
Yeah, they're a bunch of punks. They're a bunch of punks.
That's stupid, man. To sit up there in Washington D.C. and go, "Hey, we're that's like listen to the KKK or something." We're gonna kill all of you assholes, and later on, we're gonna party.
When I lived in New York City, I was attacked by those Israelites in New York City. They were out there shouting and all this crap on. And then I went up to one of those. They picked me up because I have long black hair and I'm a white guy. And I told that guy, I said, get off your soapbox and get in my face. He never got off of it. I said, come on, punk, get off the box. And he never got off. I got right up into his face. He didn't do shit. This guy, they're a bunch of loudmouths. They're the loudmouths, and we need to fight back. I'm telling you, we need to fight back.
Well, they're not the brightest people, though, too, because I do have one that lives across the street, and he was trying to tell me that chickens were designed by white people to oppress the black people.
Oh, come
really?
on. I like fried chicken.
That was hilarious.
I like fried chicken, but I can't eat it half the time.
I'd rather, if I had to give up chicken or steak, I'd give up steak before I'd give up chicken.
Yeah.
I love me some fried chicken and watermelon.
Except for most of the chicken, I'm sorry, I don't like KFC anymore. It just tastes different. It's not like when we were kids, it tasted like real chicken because there's so many antibiotics in chicken. So there's only certain chicken I can eat, It just doesn't taste like chicken.
You know what you ought to do? You ought to go to the grocery store and look for Amish chicken. Okay.
Oh, they don't.
Well, you're in Ohio. You're in Ohio.
Yeah,
right near the Amish.
You can get Amish chicken over there in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And New York. Yes.
Huh.
When I lived in India, I got some chicken somewhere. And I was like, oh, I won't eat parts. I won't eat organs. And I was like,
those are friggin' little pigeons or something. Those aren't.
And they're like, there's no parts in there. And I'm like, what's that? And I thought it was a heart because it was dark meat. And it was a little, maybe that big. It was the chicken breast. It was that big. That was it. I was like, oh. And then one time.
A pigeon?
They're serving you pigeon.
Well, one time I did go to the market to buy a chicken.
Steak. Don't go for a steak.
Oh, they don't have steak there.
It's dog.
They kill you.
It's dog.
I did get a chicken one time, and you go to the market. The chickens are alive when you pick out a live chicken, and I was like, and they kill it in front of me. I was like, no, I'm a wimp. Nope.
You know, there's a couple countries over there that serve up dog. I just, you know what? I have an issue with that, just like I do abortion.
Yeah, that is disgusting.
Well, I think it's China. They actually cook them alive. They like boil them, or I don't know how they take the fur off, but then I guess they burn the fur, and then as they're, and they burn the fur off, and then they go back and cook them, and they're still alive.
They're stopping a lot of that shit, but you know what? The old way.
Who hates white people more? Black Israelites?
Junior's tweet to
Israelites.
How socialists eat their dogs, and we American people, we walk our dogs.
But you have to understand something. Not every socialist country, they're eating dogs.
No, they don't.
They just want you to understand that it depends on the culture or the ideas with socialism. See, when you have that kind of socialism, it's like there's other things that factor in, of course. So
during World War II, around 1943, and the Soviet Union, so we're talking about communism and socialism, it was so bad that in that part of Russia in 1943, during the World War II, that there was a certain village in the Soviet Union where they were kidnapping children, and they were eating the children. The cannibalism was out of control because people were starving to death. And so, anytime we're dealing with an oppressive...
Nick, I'm going to kick your ass, dude. He goes, he texted me before. He goes, your boo fell asleep. Meaning Nacho.
Oh.
He's fucking with me. I'll get him later for that.
What were you saying, Father?
Well, I mean, this oppressive regimes, these oppressive ideas of socialism, communism, it causes such human tragedy that in 1943, in a certain village in the Soviet Union, they were cannibalizing each other, and they were hunting down little children and eating the children. And I'm not even making this up. It sounds like I'm making it up.
I believe you. It's just, I'm shaking my head because it just disgusts me.
Look, you have to understand something about communism.
Go ahead, Jovi. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, people cry about fascism and National Socialism, but this was all a response to violent communism. It had nothing to do with people just wanting to take over and kill everything in sight. It had to do more with fighting against communists. And I spoke to a friend of mine whose father fought in World War II, and he was in a Nazi prison. And he was drinking a Heineken one time, and my buddy goes, I thought you hated the Germans. He goes, no, why would I hate the Germans? And then he was like, because they put you in prison. He was like, they were better than the communists. That's not funny.
That's awful.
It's awful. Like, communism is so bad. It's like, it makes everything else seem innocent.
I mean, that totally sounds like a made-up story, like it's a horror movie. Like I'm quoting a horror movie, but it's actually true. You can look it up. And,
no, it's true. I'm very aware of what's going on right now, like what happened at that time. I've actually talked to Michelle and Chrissy about it, but it takes time. People really have to have an open mind for this, because
the people of Venezuela, I mean, these people were pushed.
It's another level. It's another red pill. It's like another level of red pilling.
Yeah.
And then you either get the white pill or the black pill.
Yeah, it's definitely the black pill.
I haven't taken it. I haven't taken any pills. I don't need to take any pills, man. I've been aware about this stuff since I was a little kid because I grew up in a really bad neighborhood in South Philly, full of ghettos. It was a giant ghetto, and I grew up right across the street from an oil refinery. That's where I played when I was a kid. I played inside an oil refinery through the streets, and I mean something out of a like Blade Runner. And it was all projects. It was depressed. When I was a little kid, I'd sit on a bike and I would stare into the ghetto, and I used to wonder, why is it all black? Mostly black, very few white, some Hispanics, but mostly black. And I used to wonder why. Why is that? And then as I got older, I figured out what it was. So at a very young age, I was very aware of what was going on, even though I wasn't into politics. I hated politics. I wanted nothing to do with it. All I wanted to do was be on stage, play rock and roll music, and have fun. But I kept getting drawn back in because I had to know. I couldn't be a person just walking around with my head in the clouds, not knowing anything. And so at a very young age, I've never been a Democrat. I'm not trying to toot my own horn here. I've never been a Democrat. I didn't realize that I was a conservative or anything like that until I started getting older. And then I started to realize, oh, okay, that's who I am, because I was about small government. We need to be able to protect ourselves. We have the right to protect ourselves with arms and free speech and so on and so. And I realized, okay, well, that's who I am, and I've been like that ever since I was a little kid. And I've never had to take any pills. I was completely aware. And I made sure that my daughter from a very young age knew. I made sure she knew. I told her at a very young age. And she's become very successful in college. And
that's awesome.
So I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, but I'm just saying that I've never had to take any pills because it was in my face at a young age in the ghetto,
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, you guys, it's time to wrap things up. We're coming to the end. So any last closing comments or?
No, just thank you guys for all watching. Hit and subscribe to Chrissy's channel if you haven't, and subscribe to all our channels.
Awesome.
Yeah. Check out the recent event I attended and spoke at.
Yeah.
That's pretty controversial.
Jovi's speech was awesome. And Jonny doesn't have a channel, but you can catch him here once in a while, I think.
Okay, well, I added you to my contact list, so.
And Father's got some great music, great
good night,
content, and all that kind. But Jonny will be starting one. But yeah, so good night, everybody. Wish you well, love you all, and have a great week.